Good, happy Thursday morning. It's Thursday, August 4th, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Thursday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, we're going to begin with a check of your weather. Weather right now is clear, 64 degrees, feels like 64 degrees. Expect dry conditions for the next 6 hours. And there are 2 weather alerts for you. There is a air quality weather alert from 11 a.m. this morning to 11 p.m. this evening. And also there's a heat advisory in effect from noon today to 8 p.m. on Friday. And with that full weather forecast, let's go to meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Meteorologist Haley LaPointe is saying record heat possible Thursday in New Hampshire. Let's take a look at that full weather forecast from meteorologist Haley LaPointe right now.
Everybody, I'm meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Here's an update on your steamy forecast. Tonight, relatively comfortable. Temperatures in the North Country fall into the 50s tomorrow morning in Concord, Manchester, mid to upper 60s. But we will just see the temperatures and the humidity surge fast through the morning hours tomorrow, landing somewhere in the 90s across the state tomorrow afternoon. Maybe as hot as 99 in Manchester, which would actually set a new record in Manchester. The previous record of 94 was set in 1935. We'll see if we can break that. We may come close in places like Concord and Nashua. The record's slightly higher at 97 degrees. Nashua forecast to get to 99, so we'll come close. In Concord, the hottest day so far this year has been 96 degrees. We may tie that, or we may become the hottest day of the year tomorrow if we get to 97. We'll have to see what happens there. Heat advisory for central and southern New Hampshire through the day and into the evening because of this. The heat, the humidity together will make it feel like 100 degrees in Concord, Manchester, down through the Merrimack Valley. Even in the Monadnock region, we may approach the upper 90s. The other thing to consider, too, if you have any type of breathing issues, and even the very young and the old who are susceptible to breathing problems, there's an air quality alert that's been issued for Rockingham County and Hillsborough County. This includes Manchester, Nashua, Salem, and out toward the seacoast, too. It's throughout the afternoon and evening that the air quality will be at unhealthy levels. So it might even be best for those types of people and populations to stay indoors, stay in the AC when we have that peak heating and humidity of the day. Bermuda high set up right now. So what that means is we have this conveyor belt of heat and moisture coming out of the southeast right at us. There are some storms with a cold front back through the Great Lakes region, but that thing is going to move ever so slowly close to us. And then it kind of just sits over us and will give us the threat of storms off and on through nearly the entire weekend. Now, the weekend is not a washout by any means, but each day there is the chance of these passing brief downpours, intense downpours, and maybe even some rumbles of thunder. And look at the temps. We're still in the 90s on Sunday and into Monday.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Thank you for that, Haley. And now let's get to your news. First up, practice underway for the 69th annual Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl. Let's take a listen to that video from WUR News 9.
69th Annual Shrine Maple Sugar Bowl is this Saturday at Castleton University in Vermont. The game features some of the best high school football players from New Hampshire and Vermont, raising money for Shriners Hospitals for Children. This year will be extra special for New Hampshire head coach Chris Childs of Lebanon. It's his final game, and he gets to coach his son. See,
it meant a lot considering it's his last game coaching. So he retired, and I think it's a great connection that we formed through football.
It just kind of puts an umbrella on the end of it, just for us as, me coaching him and then, me playing in the game in high school and now him. Just a nice way to kind of finish it all up for sure.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Reward announced for information leading to arrest of a New Hampshire kidnapping suspect. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now, a $1,500 reward for information leading to the arrest of a kidnapping suspect. Police say Peter Curtis should be considered armed and dangerous. Officers say he has a history of violent arrests. They say he has ties to southeastern New Hampshire, northern Mass, and Portland, Maine.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Few details in the deaths of woman, 2 children under investigation in Northfield. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Well, very few details are being released at this hour. If you take a look here behind me, you'll see this is still very much an ongoing and active investigation. Both state police and Northfield police are here on Wethersfield Drive. They've been here for much of the afternoon and into tonight. Now, this investigation appears to be centered on a single-family home. The State Police Major Crime Unit is set up out front. We've been seeing police and detectives coming and going from the home all evening and into the night. The New Hampshire State Police Major Crime Unit also had this neighborhood shut down for hours as they investigated. Now, sources tell WMUR that Northfield Police and State Police responded to a home on Wethersfield Drive around 11:30 this morning after receiving a call that several people may have been injured. When responding officers arrived at that home, they found an adult female and 2 children dead. The Attorney General's office, again, is calling their deaths suspicious. This entire ordeal is putting neighbors who live here on edge.
It's certainly very shocking right there. It's a very quiet neighborhood, and it's very, there's nothing like this ever happened around here before right there, and it's very tragic.
Again, 3 suspicious deaths under investigation here in Northfield involving a woman and 2 children tonight. Also, no word on any arrests or any possible suspects with this case. We'll continue to follow this situation and bring you updates as soon as they become available. For now, reporting live in Northfield, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
The hardest part about fighting climate...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Some New Hampshire cities set to have highest number of fatal opiate overdose deaths in years. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
New Hampshire's largest cities are on track to see the most opioid deaths in years. From January through July, Manchester had 37 suspected opioid deaths. Nashua saw 29 suspected opioid deaths. American Medical Response says if things continue at this rate, both cities will see the highest number of opioid-related overdoses in at least 5 years.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. NHDRA honored with 2022 Federation of Tax Administrators Award for Initiative. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration won a 2022 Federations of Tax Administrators Award. The award is to recognize an innovative new auditing program developed to increase compliance with the meals and room tax obligation. The Monitor Forward Audit Program allows auditors to initially review a single tax period rather than an entire year. So there you go.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Voters in Kansas reject measures to ban abortion in state. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The surprise vote on abortion rights and what it could mean for the midterm elections. Voters in the traditionally conservative, solid red state of Kansas overwhelmingly protecting the right to abortion less than 6 weeks after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. On the heels of the Kansas vote today, President Biden saying voters of Kansas sent a powerful signal. Several of last night's key races are still undecided, including the Republican primary for Arizona's governor, testing Donald Trump's hold on the Republican Party. Democrats and Republicans are now looking for momentum with less than 100 days until the midterms. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Kansas and leads us off.
In Washington today, President Biden praising the surprise show of support for abortion rights in Kansas. The first time voters made their voices heard since the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade.
I am so proud of Kansas right now.
The court practically dared women in this country to go to the ballot box and restore the right to choose that the court had just ripped away after 50 years.
By a resounding margin of 61 to 39, Kansas voters rejected an amendment to strip away the right to an abortion from the state's constitution. Kansas is a ruby red state. Donald Trump won here by 15 points, and there are 350,000 more registered Republicans than Democrats. But last night's vote wasn't even close. Turnout was overwhelming. 900,000 people showing up to vote on a Tuesday in the middle of August. Voters we spoke to, like Brianna and Kyle O'Brien, told us the stakes could not be higher.
What do you think is at risk?
I would say, first and foremost, it's not just about Kansas women. This is going to be an example that's set throughout the whole U.S.
For the O'Briens, it's personal. Brianna had an abortion in June after learning their child would be born with rare and severe genetic conditions.
Every family should have that right to decide what's best for their babies.
Democrats hope what happened in Kansas will shape the midterm elections.
The voters of Kansas sent a powerful signal that this fall the American people will vote to preserve and protect the right and refuse to let them be ripped away by politicians.
But in Washington, the Republican senator from Kansas, Roger Marshall, says not so fast. He admits he was stunned by the results in his state.
I was absolutely surprised, and I have no explanation. And again, it was just a gut punch. That's all I can tell you.
But Marshall tells us voters will have other things on their minds when they go to elect candidates in November.
I think voters come November will be very focused on the cost of gasoline and groceries and rent. That's all I hear about.
Rachel Scott joins us now from Overland Park, Kansas. And Rachel, the results in Kansas are clearly the story of the night, but we also saw key primaries in 5 states and big victories from Republican candidates who had Donald Trump's seal of approval.
Yes, Lindsay, and the starkest example was in Arizona, where you had primary winners up and down the ballot who have embraced Trump's false claims about the 2020 election. The Republican winner for Secretary of State in Arizona even attended Trump's rally on January 6th. If these candidates were to win in November, they would have a significant role in overseeing the next presidential election, Lindsay.
Rachel Scott, our thanks to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more video...
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.